What's going on, guys? Today's episode of the Make Money Making Videos podcast is linked down below, and the topic we're talking about is starting making videos, so, starting videography with minimal equipment. And, it's one of those things that a lot of people who don't have the equipment are like, I can never make something like you with all the equipment. But then the people with all the equipment, every time the advice is start with what you've got, because I didn't have all this equipment on day number one. I had it on, hundreds of days afterwards, obviously years down the road. So start with what you got, and that will take you to where you're going to be. Let's do it. Welcome back to the Make Money Making Videos podcast. What's some advice to creators starting out with minimal equipment? For me, it's fucking find your friend who has a camera. Noah, you taught me what about aperture. You taught me about all this stuff that I didn't have a camera, guys, but I am a super motivated, active dude. So what I would do for the entire first maybe 30 bookings is I was the kind of business guy. I would get us the booking, and Noah was the actual dude who knew how to film and stuff, who would be teaching me how to actually film. So I think we exchanged it. We were good partners there where, neither of us kind of had the same strong suit, if you know what I mean. And we kind of both
I wasn't very good. I wasn't an amazing people person.
Exactly.
I was very confident at,
very outgoing and stuff like that. Exactly. But I literally knew nothing about the camera, absolutely nothing. So I think we exchanged great information. I gave you good insight on how to, approach people and how to reach out and be more proactive. And, you definitely taught me about aperture and ISO and all this stuff. And I think, guys, if you don't have equipment, find somebody who does and become fucking great friends with them and exchange that information. You've got something they don't have and they got something you don't have. Even before Noah, I would get my mom's picture camera, fucking 20, I don't know what megapixel, 1 megapixel probably. Who knows? And, it wasn't even built for filming or anything. And, I'd make videos with that. I think people cripple themselves a lot of the time by thinking they need the biggest and the baddest things. And it's like, I've made a lot of money doing videos, and I still shoot with what, you could call an amateur camera.
Yeah.
The Sony 6300.
So, going back to your question, my advice would be probably the thing that I realized quickly is there's not don't expect when you're starting to see, you can see the end goal of, okay, I'm going to be filming, have my own media company, have people working for me, but you can have that goal up there, but there's not a clear path to get to that. And that can be off-putting because you feel like, how is filming, this crappy little coffee shop down the road going to get me there? It kind of all unfolds and unravels, and you're not meant to know the way it's all going to pan out because it's random.
Exactly.
So don't feel like you have to plan everything out. Just do one little step, one little video,
one step at a time,
and then that little video will go to that little video, and it will build up, I think.
And the thing is, once you've done that, you don't realize with project to project, but you're building a track record. Me and Noah could sit here and talk about 100 projects that we've worked on, different ones. And, likewise, if we're on a shoot talking to a client, we can have context on other jobs, etc. that we've done. All this stuff, guys, the information's in your head. You're either going to use those jobs that you've done, which might seem pointless at the time, as talking points to talk to your client about other stuff that you've done, or to add to your track record, as in showing, versatility, different types of videos you've done. The fact that, when we only had nightclub videos, I remember it was pretty hard for us to make the case of filming other businesses, and we really wanted to get out of the nightclub stuff. Now, we've done a pretty diverse amount of stuff. You've done a lot of interview stuff. I've done a lot of vehicle stuff, not to mention all the other little jobs in between that we have a more rounded portfolio. So I think, guys, there's going to be a future you who has different ideas and stuff than the you now. So I think you want to best set that future you up by just doing as much stuff and tasting as much up front to give that future you character lots of context and and kind of track record.
Yeah. And another thing is, obviously everyone listening to this is already doing it by going on Jack's channel, everything I've ever learned about cameras and editing has all just been from YouTube. Like I said earlier, the starting editing. So don't feel disheartened that you don't know how camera settings work. You can look it up on YouTube for free in 2 minutes.
And the stuff hits. You know what I mean?
It's crazy how that's the thing with the internet. There's so much free information out there. It's just who's willing to actually sit there and go through the
Figure it
process,
out.
like, you know.
Oh, exactly, dude. I know that firsthand. I mean, like I said, I've been doing these cold calls this week for the first time, and the process of me doing the cold call was to watch one 15-minute YouTube video where the guy who's been a cold caller for years broke down his strategy and how to, you know, tonality and stuff like that, and you know, just put a basic script together on the screen and went through some of the possible rejections you're going to get, etc. I watched a 14-minute YouTube video on cold calling, and then cold called a bunch of people. I cold called 26 businesses now, and I got like 4 emails. So it's like, you know, the percentage is pretty decent. And all I did, again, teaching myself, the process for me was to watch a 15-minute YouTube video with a professional, again, who would tell me the inside outs of cold calling. So I still use that as my method of learning. I don't go to a school. You know, I dropped out of school when I was 17. You're in film school right now, but you were always a little bit more academically, you know, naturally academic than I was, I think. But I mean,
yeah. But going back to that, another example is, so I had a wedding booking.
Yeah.
I've never shot weddings before, and I got it through, I can't even remember, through probably just some random thing. And the days before the wedding, I was like freaking out, like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to, never filmed a wedding before, it's that big day, what if I mess it up? Went on YouTube, how to film a wedding.
Exactly.
Watched about, you know, 3-4 videos of the different stages, who professionals have been doing it for years, give you tips. And then I went and shot the wedding, and it was absolutely fine.
Boom, perfect,
like,
exactly.
It's just crazy how you can literally learn anything on the internet.
Yeah, I know, and I think the main thing that people struggle with is they just don't fucking want to do it enough. If you guys want to do it, you'll do it. I think, like, if you're commenting, how do I do it? You do it by doing it. Like I said, the reason me and Noah had to edit.
It's hard. It just sounds stupid, but it's literally the only way.
You do it by fucking doing it. You know, we knew how to edit by the time. Literally, this makes perfect sense to me. By the time I knew how to edit, I didn't even realize what I'd done. By the time I knew how to, it was not conscious at all. It was, I see people editing, I want to edit, do it naturally. Didn't think about it. It wasn't like I'm studying English. Yep, been revising English for 40 hours now, or 2 hours now, whatever. It wasn't like I'm revising something, like I'm revising editing, blah, blah, blah. It was just I was interested in it. I did it a bunch, and, you know, it was a constant thing. We would be watching Baker's Tuts. You remember Baker's Tuts?
Yeah.
Boom. We remember the name. Yeah. He's probably still doing it to this day, man. He was the original ItsJackCole. Baker's Tuts was the original video production help on YouTube, and that's the reality of the situation. Editing help, exactly. The editing help, teaching you how to do effects, teaching you about, you know, masking was a big deal then, all sorts. We used to edit solely in After Effects. That's the kind of world we come from. We used to do, I remember when you had a conversation with me one day, you said, Jack, we've been doing it all wrong. We've been using After Effects like it's a video editor. After Effects is actually just for effects. I said, holy shit, dude, we don't have to do the Stairway to Heaven anymore. And Noah got me to switch to Premiere about 2 years ago.
And it took me a while to get you to switch, because when I switched, it was, you know, it's like you're riding a skateboard for 10 years and then you go to scooter. It's like horrible at first. But the switch was definitely needed.
Then you start seeing the things, and then we found some cheat codes, like the automate to sequence for doing the club videos.
Yeah. So the automate to sequence worked so well, because with the club video, because it was just montage sequence, there wasn't really a storyline. Yeah. So you could just randomize the order they were in: DJ shot, girl, dancing. You know, but you could just randomize it. So we just like cheat coded it to make it so quick to edit. Yep,
and we found this this kind of fast forward method, which Peter McKinnon made a video about it that Noah sent to me. It was how to edit your videos way quicker, or something like that. You know what I mean? And it was a 2-minute video.
I was blown when I saw that.
And we watched it, and it showed how you could play a song and just press M to add a marker on all the beats, and then highlight all your clips, and then go to edit, automate to sequence, and at unnumbered markers. And it would just put all your clips in there, chop to the beat, and essentially edit the whole thing for you. And then obviously, you know, you wouldn't have naturally put all the clips where they end up, because it's automated. So then you just swap everything out. You put the ones that are, you know, are better at the beginning, whatever, and the ones that don't make sense, or whatever the case may be. And maybe you tighten up the M's because you didn't press them exactly on the beat, whatever, like small technicality like that. But it cut our editing process in half. Like, it fully cut our editing process.
And don't get me wrong, you wouldn't do this for like a project that you really care about. This was by the time you'd done, like, you know,
30 plus events.
Yeah, and we just thought, you know, it's not a huge event. We're trying to get through it.
Yeah.
Because
and we
you
wanted to
know,
find a quick way to get through it.